We may appreciate these qualities by studying specific paintings. For example, Pines in the Mist by Hasegawa Towa. From the misty background of two large 6-panel screens measuring in all 7 by 1.5 meters, there emerge 4 groups of pine trees, painted in ink in various shades of black and gray. Mysterious and evocative presences whose reality manifests itself and at the same time seems to lose its materiality through skillful use of allusion and description, thanks to the very specific role played by mist and emptiness. The subject of the painting is the pines themselves, divorced from any surrounding landscape, although in the upper part of the first panel of the second screen, Japanese works, and Chinese as well, are read from right to left, so the second panel would be the left one and not the first. There can glimpse the sketchy, tenuous outline of a mountain. The clouds that shroud everything thus serve to strip every other element of importance, turning the painting into a kind of portrait of the tall trees. The work's point of departure is a black pine, its trunk bent from years of battling with the elements, which springs from the bottom right-hand corner of the first screen. Its powerful personality is underlined by an image, lighter and more diaphanous reflection that it seems to create behind itself, as if it was reflected in the mist, in a play between light and mist, or even as if the second image was actually the soul of the first one, or a kind of psychic aura. The movement of the two trees, as if stretching leftwards with open arms towards the empty space in the next 2 panels, is echoed by another tree in the background of the central group. This tree, light in both tone of ink and form, seems to be answering their call as it bends toward to right and repeats the movement of a third tree in the first group. It too is in the background, moving in the opposite direction, so it's also tending to go to right. And thus restores balance of the first 2 trees. Kind of faint balance in order not to take away too much power, which is needed by this tool. Movement, please go to the left. By contrast, the pines in the 3 panels on the left are erect and powerful. 2 of them with their foliage painted in black, dark ink, using densely crowded brushstrokes over a structure of trunks, which are much lighter. And branches, you see the trunks and the branches here are much lighter than the thickness of the needles. The brush strokes are cut off bluntly at the end. But the abruptly interrupted stroke is continuing, using the tip of the brush, creating a series of long, narrow rings in the form of a tight spiral that gives the individual strokes, presumably this way, a strong upward movement. Here again, the brush strokes in the background, there emerge from the mist other trees painted in thinner ink, presences that are more diaphanous, but no less real and visible, and which support and enhance the vigor of the two most prominent pines. The left-hand screen, although made using the same technique and in the same form, expresses a different mood. It is more delicate, and the view is not interrupted, even though it contains broad expanses of mist, of course, here, and here. But there is no solution of continuity in the image like in the first one. The feeling of continuity and of greater gentleness is created by an imaginary line running from top right to bottom left. It starts from the hint of a mountain in the distance and descends gradually, the ink becoming thicker as it goes, bringing the trees to the left, closer to the observer. According to an aesthetic tradition, the artist intended to give one screen a masculine personality and the other a feminine personality. Pines in the Mist is one of the most famous and most important Japanese paintings ever made. It contains the quintessence of the aesthetics of Zen and of tea ceremony, but it also represents an entirely new, even revolutionary way of conceptualizing the relationship with nature and of expressing it in painting. Tohaku painted it as a mature man at that period of his life. His major works consisted of monochrome painting, a field in which he was associated with the great Chinese landscape tradition of the Song dynasty and with Sesshu. His predilection for monochrome, his ability to reinterpret the work of his earlier predecessors, both Chinese and Japanese, and his undeniable genius for reworking all these elements into a highly personal vision of man and nature brought him close to the world of Zen and tea aesthetics.